What's up, everybody? I'm Steve Lewis, host of Buck Obsession.
Big buck right there,
And welcome to the 2019 podcast. With this podcast, you're going to hear tips and tactics, hunting stories, and gear review. It's a passion of ours for family, faith, and friendships. What's up, everybody? Steve Lewis, host of Buck Obsession TV podcast. We are honored to have a special guest here this afternoon, Kristy Titus. What's going on, Kristy?
Hello, glad to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, ma'am, not a problem. Kristy is passionate in the support of wildlife, habitat conservation, outdoor and shooting, sports education. Kristy serves as NRA board of directors, and she also ambassadors for Ruger, the Rocky Mountain Foundation, Cabela's Bass Pro Shop, Hornady and Buck Knives, and several other companies as well. So again, another round of applause having you on here this afternoon on this podcast, Kristy.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on. We're on some of the same teams, that's for sure. So
absolutely, yeah. We just signed with Buck Knives about a couple of weeks back, so we're pretty excited about that.
They're a great family. I've been with them for a very long time, so I love them all.
Yes, ma'am. We spoke with, we was out at the ATA show and spoke to, I don't know if you know Chris Brooks. Yeah, Chris has been nothing but awesome. I remember when he was with Kershaw Knives, but he's a good dude. And that's who we spoke to out there at the ATA, and had a really good conversation with him out there. So
yeah, they're great people there. The entire Buck family is wonderful. Absolutely.
Now, Kristy, I sent a few questions over to you, kind of do a Q&A answer here session. And we can just kind of flow into this here and kind of get the background of you. And I mean, you're a mentor of the industry, and a lot of people follow you and support you in what you do. I know we do. It's awesome to have friends in the industry like yourself to help guide and support others. So how'd you get started in the industry?
I think the biggest thing for me is I didn't really try to get started in the industry. I have a servant's heart, and I was volunteering with various conservation groups and organizing community outreach events for women and also men, just on the basis of activism, and it blossomed from there.
Awesome. And so when you look back at it, who really inspired you for the outdoors? Was it family? You start out with family and just go that route?
Yeah, so my family and we have mules, and I grew up in the backcountry, kind of packing in with our mules. And, my mom and dad and my sister and I all went into the mountains as a child. And that was kind of our family vacation and our family time. And it's just what we've always done. And so my dad really, obviously got me involved in the outdoors and really let me be the person that I wanted to be, which was an outdoorsman. And he nourished that relationship and allowed me to have the opportunity to do those things and never kind of held me back or made me feel funny because I was a girl. So that was great.
Right. And, it's great, for me, the same situation, with my family. My father took me out when I was 5 or 6 years old and got me introduced to the outdoors. And here I am now. Loving the sport. I'm passionate about it just like you are for the conservationist part of the deal. And my two brothers were also hunting, together all the time. So it's a family affair. So it's pretty cool. And where'd you grow up?
I'm an Oregonian.
So you're an Oregon Duck?
No.
You don't like Oregon?
I'm not a U of O fan in any way, shape, or form. Right. Oregon State's a great university. We also have the Beavers here in Oregon. So
okay. Was I right though? It is the Oregon Ducks, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah. So there's several universities in Oregon. Ducks is typically the most famous. Right. But it's also the most leftist and liberally indoctrinized college in the country. So I'm a Oregon State fan and a strong Beaver.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm in Virginia here, so I'm a Virginia Tech Hokie fan. So
yeah,
football wise.
You are speaking French. You are speaking French to me. So you're getting me way out of my zone. Like we're talking sports all of a sudden. And I'm like, wait a second. I don't do sports other than hunting or shooting.
I know.
So, you could be in Virginia, whatever, and I would not know who your team is. I'm so sorry.
That's
and I know
right.
some people are really passionate about that. So I'm not like, I can't offer any insight to this.
No, not at all. So, Kristy, obviously you're passionate about the outdoors. And so, it's kind of the question here is, why do you do what you do? I mean, obviously we know, I mean, I've read your bio on what you're passionate about the wildlife and the habitat conservation and education, but, why do you do it? Give back?
Well, this is my life. I mean, it's not, why do I do what I do? This is my life. So it's not like something I have to wake up every morning and think about why I should do this today. It's
Right.
just who I am. It's who I am. And, if I'm not, I mean, television or me having an outdoor career or not, the things that I do day to day, I would be doing regardless. So
Yes.
the fact that I've been able to kind of turn this into something where I have the support of a lot of companies and communities and people, and I'm able to reach individuals and hopefully inspire them, because I think our culture is evolving into a very urbanized mentality. People are very removed from where their food comes from, and hopefully, people can follow along with some of the things I do, being a woman and being a DIY and backcountry and solo. Hopefully they'll find some inspiration in that and say, look, I mean, maybe there's something to it. If she's doing this, maybe there's something beautiful and profound that happens when you're in the woods. And that's really my ultimate goal. But for me, there's no other way to do anything or live.
No, I totally agree. Me as a child growing up, being in the outdoor industry, and I'm new at it. I mean, I'm going on our sixth season with the Pursuit Channel with our television show, and it's something new. But I'm gaining ground and exposure, and it's something that you have to work hard at, and that's what I've done my whole life is work hard. I'm a 17-year law enforcement veteran.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And it's just that's as a kid growing up, that's what I wanted to do, and is those two things, and I'm doing it. So I have a passion for obviously both. But tell me about an experience, the best hunting experience you can think of off the top of your head that you've had.
So my best experiences are with my dad. To me, I mean, there's no greater time spent than with my father. And we have so many different experiences that are incredible. I mean, every year we're on a new journey. But I guess, one of the most profound things, I was 13 years old and my dad and I packed into the wilderness of no return in Idaho. My mother was there. And at 13, I saw my first bull elk get called in, and my dad was able to successfully harvest that bull. And that really kind of changed my life, because I had watched my dad as a kid growing up in the living room with these elk calls, watching VHS cassette tapes and learning kind of the elk language. And it was almost kind of embarrassing at the time. Like I thought, oh my gosh, if anybody saw my dad doing this, they would be like, what the heck is going on? Because the noises, they're crazy. And then when I saw it all come together, and I realized my dad was really onto something, and that really changed my life. And in my 20s, I got added to pro staff for Rocky Mountain hunting calls in my early 20s. And a lot of that was spearheaded by my dad, and having those experiences with him, and, being able to see that come full circle, where we have an opportunity to not only be hunters, but we can actually talk to the animals that we're pursuing and be part of their world, is a very incredible experience. And I thank my dad for sharing that with me, wholeheartedly. So every year when we get in the mountains together, it's my favorite thing.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you. My father, he don't hunt anymore, due to his age and health and everything. So I don't get a chance to really hunt with him anymore. But me being a father, and I have my son, he's 15 years old, and we're hunting buddies. So, I mean, he can actually run a camera in the tree better than I can. So he's really learned a lot. And I love, going with him, deer hunting and turkey hunting, and spending time with him in the outdoors. And it's a great opportunity. it's a good way to pass down to our youth, because we have to bring the youth into the hunting industry, because if not, we're going to be in serious trouble in the future if we don't bring the youth in. So.
Yeah, I do a lot of different things to youth outreach programs, but there's several that I'm really proud of. I offer a lot of support to the Craig Family Camp. And then this year I'm participating with Raise 'em Outdoors. And those two camps alone, that's over 200 kids a year that are introduced to the outdoor lifestyle. And it's in a family environment, and they learn the principles of conservation and sportsmanlike behavior, conduct, ethics, and a lot of new outdoor skills. So I try to take kids and do things like that every year. It's really difficult to reach large numbers of kids. So I really encourage people, put together educational camps. And people always ask me, well, how do you get involved? Well, you have to be the one to do it. Yeah. So you have to be the one that has the vision and just actually go and make it happen. And we need more people doing that, because the outdoors and the experiences that happen in the outdoors are so incredible. Just turning off the TV, disconnecting from iPhones, and getting outside is something that really creates a lot of bonds for families that are very, very precious. And there's a lot of kids that want to be in the outdoors and experience the outdoors, but don't have necessarily great parents. So having good mentors is pivotal to that as well.
You're absolutely correct on that, for sure. Do you guys out there, and you shoot a lot of archery as well, does any of your high schools have programs where kids can join archery clubs at the schools or the school level?
Yeah, there's all kinds of schools and clubs, and there's a lot of local archery 3D leagues here in Oregon. And then there's a lot of local schools, like in Gilchrist, Oregon, for example. The high school teacher has a little archery club. And then my old farrier lives down there, and he has an archery club. And what happened is he has a kid who wanted to shoot archery with his friends. And so they just started a club, and, every Tuesday they go and shoot, and he put together the archery targets, and they just kind of made their own thing happen. And that's what it takes is, parents or people that are willing to make a club happen. It doesn't just happen. You have to do it yourself. You have to to put it together.
Yeah. And you got to have a buy-in too with the community, which sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. So you got to make sure, that community buys into the programs at the schools and supports that type of development for the kids as well. I wish we had more of that here. I know some of our surrounding counties, some schools do have those types of programs, but the county I'm in, it doesn't exist. They would never allow that type of, archery shooting in schools. It's sad.
Again, it's not schools, it's parents.
It starts at home.
Take responsibility it starts at home. We have to take responsibility for our children. We have to take responsibility for our children's education. And a lot of our educational system is indoctrinating our kids. It's failing our children. I'm a huge advocate for homeschool, and I'm a huge advocate for, if you want something to happen, get out and make it happen. You cannot rely on a school entity to create the backbone of ethics and values and curriculum that you want for your kids. You have to make that as a parent. And there's a lot of kids that don't have that opportunity. They don't have great parents. So if you're that person in your community and you can be that great parent, be that great parent for other kids that don't have that opportunity. I mean, you cannot wait or rely on schools. Our schools are an epic failure to many kids in so many ways. We just need incredible people that are passionate, that are willing to step up and make things happen.
Well, I can say, Kristy, that was well said. I totally agree with you 110% on that as well. So that's well said there. You're right. Be a parent first. I think that's the problem sometimes in society, is that it starts at home. We see it every day. Poor kids out there, struggling. And we look at their parents and, like, what are you doing? Be a parent. And you're right. That's where it starts right there.
Well, I'm not a parent. I have no interest in having kids. Right. But I'm a mentor.
Absolutely.
And I have a lot of interest in taking and helping kids that want to learn. And there's so many kids that are so hungry for attention, are so hungry for a positive hobby that they can engage in, and someone to be a positive leader and role model in their life, because they're not getting it at home. And there are so many kids that aren't athletic. I mean, you and I kind of started this conversation discussing athletics. I was never an athletic kid, but I could hunt, I could shoot a bow, I could shoot a gun, I could go fishing, I could hike, and I didn't have to be a track star for that, or a cheerleader for that. I didn't have to have this innate athletic ability. And that is what's so great about shooting sports and hunting and the outdoors is it's welcoming of all ability levels, all ages, and it's something for everyone.
Absolutely. You're absolutely correct. Kristy, what have you in your career within the hunting industry here, have you ever came across any really big obstacles or anything like that? Or, I mean, there's always obstacles in life and anything, but anything that was challenging to you?
Oh, Steve, do I seem like the person who wouldn't let an obstacle slow me down?
No, you don't.
No, no. I haven't had obstacles because I don't look at any. I mean, there's challenges for sure. There's always challenges in life. That's part of being an adult, and that's a part of being an entrepreneur. That's a part of being successful, is taking challenges or obstacles and figuring out a way to get around them and be successful despite them. So, no, I can't really say, I've had this huge setback or this giant social injustice. No, I mean, I just work and I show up and make things happen.
Now, I do see now, again, you shoot for Ruger, and you I see you love to seem to shoot like big guns. Like you're always shooting some cool looking guns out there. What's your favorite gun to shoot?
Well, I don't know about big guns. I'm not a big, Magnum caliber fan, that's for sure. So like I shoot a lot of different firearms, and I believe, you can never have too many firearms because there's a firearm for everything. So Depends on what I'm doing. Obviously my gun is like a wardrobe. It's like shoes, if you will. So I've got to have a different firearm for everything that I do in life. And so that just varies. I mean, are we talking hunting? Are we talking personal protection? Or, what are we talking here? Let's narrow it down and then I'll answer.
Well, let's narrow it down to, let's just start with hunting.
So hunting, what I love about Ruger firearms is they're accurate, they're reliable, and they're repeatable. And the Ruger American firearm retails under $500. And it is sub half minute of angle accuracy for me out of the box. It is an incredible firearm. The action is amazing. I am a huge fan of the 6.5 Creedmoor. That is a round that was created by Hornady about 10 years ago. It has revolutionized the firearms industry and transformed from a fundamental standpoint everything in firearms. And it has incredible ballistics, extremely light recoil, and you can hunt darn near anything in North America with a 6.5 Creedmoor. Yeah,
you're correct. I'm more of a Thompson Center man, so I'm sorry. So
that's okay. That's okay.
No, we're partnered with Thompson, so Thompson Center. So that's what I shoot. But you're absolutely correct. I've shot a 6.5 Creedmoor, and it's a good shooting gun. That's for sure. Now, personal protection, I mean, is either 9mm, 380, or?
That just depends. So if I'm hunting, I carry a 40 or a 45. Okay. I really am a big fan of the Ruger Security 9. But I also, for carrying, like if I'm jogging or everyday carry, I carry a 380. So the Ruger LCP is my kind of go-to on that. And you can't go wrong with it. So again, it would just depend. So if it's a sidearm for hunting, I want a heavier caliber, some more knockdown power versus every day. I really like to train with a 9mm. So I do a lot of my training on the Security 9 platform. And, that's a really similar frame that you're going to find to like a Glock 19. And so that's what I do a lot of my training with. It's a very robust firearm, very repeatable, very reliable. But if I'm jogging and I'm, going to be extremely active and I don't want something weighing down my yoga pants, then I am carrying a 380 all the way. And the 380 is really great because I can slip it in my cowboy boots. So.
Absolutely. It's small, compact.
Very tiny.
Right. So, we look into moving forward as far as I looked over your website there at KristyTitus.com, and I saw that cool sizzle reel that was on there. I mean, that was cool.
Thank you.
Put together very well. I mean, it's one of those things that just as soon as you hit play, it just catches your eye, and you're like, you watch right through it, and you got to continue. Like I pushed play like 2 or 3 times just to watch it because it was cool. so that was Pursue the Wild. Is what season are you on right now? Is it second season?
So I just filmed last year with season 2. So I'm currently starting April 15th. I'll be filming for season 3.
Okay, great. Turkey, you doing a lot of turkey hunting this year?
I will do a turkey hunt this year. I've partnered with the National Wild Turkey Federation. I try to do a lot of conservation work with them. And we will be I'll be archery hunting turkeys this year.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, good luck.
I'll be shooting my new obsession. I'm excited. I've got the new FX6 and it's an incredibly fast bow. And I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh, that's awesome. And wish you luck on that. We're hopefully we're joining partnership with Martin Archery, so hopefully we can get our bows in by turkey season, which is like 2 weeks away. If not, we'll be using our faithful shotguns. But we got some hunts lined up. I have a youth hunter coming in that I'm filming the hunt. We have 600 acres here in Virginia that I hunt on a lease, and we plenty of turkeys on that property. And this young boy's 13, coming down with his dad. He's going to hunt with me. We're going to film it. We were very successful last year, and it's for the NWTF, the Virginia chapter. They had a turkey call competition last year at one of our Virginia shows, and I donated a hunt with me for the first place winner in the junior division. So this young man's coming down on April 6th and 7th, and we're going to try to get him a turkey. Like I said, last year we were successful right out the gate, about an hour and a half into it, and we aired that hunt this past or last season actually. So
that's outstanding. Well, actually opening day, I'm teaming up with a group called Huntin' Wives, and every year we take. Last year we took a Gold Star kid on a hunt, and this year we're taking a mother-daughter combo on a turkey hunt. So I'll do that. I'm not going to be filming that this year, but I'll be doing that, and then as soon as we're done with that turkey hunt, I'll be wrapping into my turkey hunt, which we'll be filming. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I'm sure you have a camera guy that comes with you, a producer and all that stuff, that he's with you and during your hunts, and camera guy and all that good stuff.
So I have a full-time producer who travels exclusively with me, and then also produces all of my content as well. So I have one guy, and I would kill him if he quit. No, I'm sorry. I'm just teasing. I love my producer, and he's fantastic, and we travel really well together, and he's incredibly talented. And so he goes everywhere with me.
Does he do the edit work too, as far as that sizzle reel?
Yeah, he does everything. So front side, back side. So I pre-produce as an executive producer. It's my job to work with my brand partners to storyline content.
Yep.
And then when we're in the field, I do pre-production agendas prior to going in the field. So I let him know, what products we're going to be doing photo shoots of, which products we're going to be doing stand-ups for, who we're going to be doing stand-ups for, any additional, videography objectives or goals. And then what we can do when we're out in the field then is just kind of storyline our day out. Like, okay, well, we're going to do the hunt, but also let's take 15, 20, 30, 40, an hour, however long it takes to accomplish these objectives. And so as executive producer, that's my role. And then, he and I work together. And when he says, Kristy, we got it, I know we got it. It's a really great feeling.
Well, if he did the edit work on that sizzle reel, tell him good job, because that was phenomenal.
Thanks.
And
I will let him know.
Pursue the Wild, is that, Kristy, is that is it YouTube based? It's not on television or anything of that nature?
No, it's not on television. So it's YouTube, Amazon TV, Facebook, Instagram TV, and then Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation's Elk Network also homes it on their digital delivery platform as well.
Yeah. A lot of things are going toward the digital platform use now. There's still a lot of hunting shows on TV, but I've been noticing the trend as far as going to a lot of YouTube, and the IGTV is good. That's starting to take off pretty well. So the digital side's starting to really, really take shape, which is good.
Yeah, I launched my show. I co-hosted the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation's show for, 6 or 7 years with Brandon Bates. And then when they started Elk Network, it kind of opened up an opportunity for me to explore doing my own series, which, I pitched to all my brand partners on like, hey, I want to do this. I don't know who's going to watch. I don't know if anybody will watch it, but you guys want to do it with me? And every one of them they all signed up, which is, just speaks volumes to the relationships that I have with my brand partners, and the companies I work with are incredible companies. And so we went digital all the way from day one and have not looked back.
Well, Kristy, following you on, Facebook, Instagram, you do such a great job when it comes to the cross marketing and doing product reviews or just photography content, video content. You do such a good job out there when it comes to that. Of what I've seen, with the Instagram, Facebook, and all that good stuff. You do a phenomenal job with cross marketing your brand. So I can see why they have such a good relationship with you and the type of person that you are with that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Kristy, what do you see like your overall goals in the outdoor industry, say in 5 years? Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh, I would imagine I'll still be doing the same things I'm doing now. I mean, obviously, every year my career and, things change for me. So, for example, last year I was elected to the National Rifle Association Board of Directors, and I really feel like I have a very pivotal role to play in the NRA and in the direction that it's going, and how I can help hopefully influence decisions that they make that would reflect the values of hunters and firearms owners as a whole, especially women owners of firearms. So that's been very important to me. I'm going to continue working with conservation groups on habitat stewardship programs and, kind of getting the voice out of how hunters are the greatest conservationists in the world, and really getting a lot more serious into shooting sports because it's an absolute blast. But I mean, I don't think in 5 years who knows? I'm not going to say I'm going to be president of the United States, but, I can see my career evolving and things happening, and what that's going to look like, only the good Lord knows.
You're right on that. Hopefully in 5 years, I see myself, almost retiring. So that would be a good thing. And then kind of more exposure within the industry and doing a little bit better with our show. I mean, we're still, like I said, we're still young. I know I've talked to you in regards to our, some mentor help, and you've given some as far as the cross marketing and different things, and how to get content out. But, hopefully in 5 years, we're definitely taking off on a good route too. And I think we are. We do have some good partners in the industry as well. We've joined partnership with, and they have taken notice as well. And we've kind of gotten out to the bigger shows and talking to people there that is backing us in our journey and what we're doing. Our guys, the hard part is we all have full-time jobs and we have to hit the woods when we can. And, we're like Saturday and Sunday weekend warriors. I mean, if we can take a day off during the week, great. But Saturday and Sundays is where it's at for us during any hunting season. Matter of fact, that this Friday, I'm flying to Texas. I'm heading out to Texas on a 3-day hog hunt. So I've never been to Texas. So I'm looking forward to that, out there shooting some hogs.
That'll be a lot of fun. I'm sure you'll have a good time.
Have you been to Texas before? I'm sure you have.
Yeah, I haven't hunted really Texas. I've been to FTW Ranch, shooting school in Texas. Yeah.
What's the weather like? I mean, I know it depends on what time of the year, but is it kind of like California where it's like that dry humidity? It's not like, like some state, like our states here, humidity is bad in the summertime, but out there in California, it's like that dry humidity. It's not bad.
I don't know how you'd compare it. And I think it would just depend on where in Texas you're going to. Right. It's a very big state. Yeah. But I'm not an expert on Texas. Like I said, I've been to the FTW Ranch a couple of times for shooting schools and whatnot, but I'm certainly not the Texas expert. Oh, you know what? I did hunt aoudad in Texas once. I did hunt aoudad like 3 years ago in Texas. Okay. But it was cold, really cold.
Did you see any snakes out there by chance?
It was 32 degrees outside. Good. There was no snakes.
Yeah, I don't like snakes myself.
Yeah, like cold. But in the heat, I don't know. I mean, there might be snakes. And I did, at FTW Ranch, I did put a giant tarantula on my head. So It was large.
Well, I told the guy in Texas, I said, listen, buddy, I said, I don't like snakes. Do I need to invest in snake boots or chaps or whatever? And he's like, no, he said, you'll be fine. And I'm like, okay, should I do this? Should I invest in it? But I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to go out there normal, and hopefully we don't see no snakes.
I hope not either, because snakes are nasty.
They're very nasty. I'm not a snake fan, but anyway, Kristy, I know you're busy. Again, we appreciate you coming on here on our podcast this afternoon. You have a busy schedule, and thanks for taking time out to talk to me. You are, when we talk about special guests, we're honored to have you on here. You're the first. So I'm not going to kid you. I was nervous about this, during the interview here. It just, the way it is, but I think it turned out pretty good.
There's nothing to be nervous about. We're all the same, we're all doing the same things. We're all on the same team. And I'm just like a little redneck. Like I'm just some girl that goes, and I was on a tractor before you called me with my dad. Yeah. Nothing to be nervous about. I promise you.
Now, Kristy, do you have any questions for us or for me or anything like that?
No, I didn't even think about questions, because usually that's not the way the podcast works. So I apologize. I didn't.
No, that's fine.
I didn't come up with a list of questions.
That's fine. No, you're absolutely correct on that. But again, thanks for coming on. We'll get this out to our listeners and viewers, and good luck in the future. Good luck in the industry. We'll keep following you, and we'll get the word out about your Pursue the Wild and all the things that you do in the industry. And keep working hard, because you're doing good.
Yeah, and I hope people do tune in, because Pursue the Wild, for me, it's a lot of public land hunting. It's a lot of DIY hunting. It's a lot of solo hunting. And when I say solo, obviously I always have my cameraman, but I try to do a lot of non-guided hunts and a lot of public land hunts, especially Western big game hunts. So, those people out there that are looking for something different, check it out.
Yes, ma'am. All right, Kristy, well, have fun. I don't know what time it is out there in Oregon. I know it's about 7:30 Eastern here, but are you like 2 hours behind?
No, I'm on Pacific. So I'm 3.
You're 3 hours. Okay.
It's early. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. It's about bedtime for me. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'll be up late. But all right, well, Kristy, thanks for coming on, and we'll get this posted out as soon as possible and get it shared out to our social platforms.
Thank you. Yeah, and everybody can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Kristy Titus. It's KRISTY TITUS. And on YouTube, it's Pursue the Wild. And I invite you guys, if you haven't watched Elk Network, go to elknetwork.com and check out all of the great content the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation is putting out there. They've got an incredible platform, digital platform with Jason Massinger has shows on there. Randy Newberg has shows on there. We have old episodes of Team Elk, and it's just a great place to learn about conservation and all kinds of other great things like cooking and more.
Absolutely. All right. Well, have a good evening, Kristy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching and listening to Buck Obsession TV Podcast 2019.